Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to speak in support of H.R. 4141, introduced by my colleague and good friend, Congressman Fulcher. Like Congressman Fulcher, I represent a large rural district where access to broadband internet is a necessity. It's not a luxury. Rural America will not take a back seat when it comes to connectivity. A long time ago, someone said every mailbox matters. Well, you know what? Every inbox matters. That became extremely apparent during COVID-19 when government shutdowns forced people to stay home and take their classes, operate their businesses, and remain connected to family online. Lacking access to the type of broadband infrastructure the metro areas enjoy, my constituents suffered under this regime. Unfortunately, the biggest hurdle to northern Minnesotans accessing broadband isn't physical barriers, but rather government red tape. It is bureaucracy that holds up new projects and often misplaces resources on overbuilt, duplicative projects. As House Republicans have been discussing for years, this country faces a permitting crisis that is holding back our constituents. We need real permitting reform to unleash every sector of the American economy, infrastructure, energy, and yes, even broadband. This legislation is a small step for rural Western communities across the nation like the one I represent. This legislation helps enable our communities to make critical investments in broadband technology and other communications infrastructure that powers our world today. We need to make sure that rural hospitals, rural schools, rural small businesses, rural farmers have the ability to connect. The ranking member just mentioned NEPA. These rural hospitals, if they don't have telehealth, telemedicine, have the ability to connect, they don't have 5, 7, 9, 20 years for a lengthy NEPA process to even survive. And I think that we have to look at the ability, as Mr. Fulcher said, some of these cables are already buried and they'll go along some of the same trenches. I think it's really important that this bill moves forward because rural America, we have seen, when we talk about the digital divide, we can go across rural America and talk to people that their businesses have been devastated because they don't have the connectivity or the reliable option for broadband. So let's not just give lip service to rural America. This piece of legislation will actually benefit rural America. Let's not talk in this resource committee about how rural America is important and how rural hospitals are important and how rural schools are important and how rural small businesses or farmers are important, and then put them through a 7, 9, 10, 20-year process to bury broadband so they can connect and be successful. Those of us who live in rural America, we do it for a reason. And we should have the exact same opportunities as somebody in the metro areas. That's why Representative Fulcher's legislation is so important to pass. And I yield back.